This is Josh here from Inside Wrestling Truth, back tonight with another video. This is another SummerSlam review. I know I'm behind on these. I did 1998 over a week ago, but tonight we're going to do 1999, and in a few days I'll have 2000. We're going to do 1999 tonight. It was held on August 22nd, 1999. From the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Opening match, we have Jarrett versus D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown at the time was the Intercontinental and European champion. This, of course, would be Jeff Jarrett's last SummerSlam. This was a pretty good match. I gave it 3 stars out of 5 to open up the show. This is a spot where we see Mark Henry actually turn on D'Lo Brown and hit him with a guitar, and Jeff Jarrett would pick up the win and leave Intercontinental Champion and European Champion. Like I said, this would be Jeff Jarrett's last SummerSlam also, but he would leave with some gold. D'Lo Brown, like I said, him and Mark Henry were always boys, and Mark Henry turned on him during this match. And, D'Lo Brown, during the Attitude Era, he was a pretty damn good wrestler, I thought. He held numerous titles. He was always on the big events. And I always remember the chest protector, which really stood out with his gimmick. But I thought this was a decent match, and I gave it 3 stars out of 5. Next match, we have the #1 contender for the tag team titles. It's like a gauntlet type match. We have Edge and Christian, who would face off with the Hardys, which were called the New Brood with Gangrel. Edge and Christian would beat them, and then they would go on to beat Midian and Viscera, Draws and Albert. And then the Acolytes would beat Edge and Christian, and then they would beat the Hollies to become the #1 contenders. This match was decent. I gave it 3 stars out of 5, but in a way, there were a lot of tag teams in this match that I felt just got thrown in there. So it really wasn't the best match in the world. That's why I only got 3 stars out of 5. I can't really remember who had the tag belts at the time during this, but I know Acolytes would become the #1 contenders for it. We would have Road Dogg come out. This is the time where Road Dogg was doing the hardcore wrestling. He would come out to talk about Bossman and Al Snow's match, and he would be interrupted by Chris Jericho. This being Chris Jericho's first WWF pay-per-view appearance, Jericho would cut a promo on Road Dogg as he's in the ring, pretty much talking about how much of a disappointment the SummerSlam has been so far, and how he's ashamed to be part of it. They would go back and forth. And the segment would end in the match between Al Snow and Big Boss Man for the hardcore title would take place. You remember this feud? It was for the Dog Pepper. The Boss Man, eventually he would kill it or whatever, and the animal rights really got after the WWF on this one. But goofy storylines. Everybody talks about how great the Attitude Era was, or just not really the Attitude Era, but wrestling during this time, and these are some of the goofiest storylines I've ever seen. So they had bad shit back then as well. Al Snow and Bossman would fight all over, of course, the locker room. They would go across the street in a bar. Road Dogg would follow and do announcing. Al Snow would pick up the win on Bossman and retain the hardcore title, but he was worried about his dog. As he would come back in the locker room, Blue Meanie and Steve Richards would be doing some shit to the dog, and Al Snow would go ape shit, and that segment would end. I only gave 3 stars out of 5 as well, because I did like the bar fight, but but in the back of the locker room it was just the same old shit that you saw week after week. People getting hit with chairs and other stuff like that. We have a Lions Den match with weapons. We have Steve Blackman versus Ken Shamrock. This is the second Lions Den match at SummerSlam. The year before they had Owen Hart and Ken Shamrock. This one wasn't bad. They beat the fuck out of each other. We had nunchucks and kendo sticks in there and everything else. And Shamrock ended up laying out Blackman after a while. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good because they just beat the snot out of each other. Didn't think it was a bad match. It was a better match than I thought it would be. You know, with that said, I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I thought, you know, it made it more believable because you have two guys that are true fighters, that know martial arts, that know, you know, MMA, and I thought they did a good job with it. And this one was actually in the arena. The one in '98 was not. It was in some theater somewhere. We have the Greenwich Street fight for Stephanie McMahon. We have Tess versus Shane. If Tess wins, he gets to keep Stephanie McMahon as his girlfriend. If Shane wins, they no longer can see each other. This match impressed me. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was very good. We would see the Main Street Posse on the front row sitting on the couch. They would keep interfering. We would see some picture to the headpiece. Shane would give it to Tess. They would be, you know, Shane McMahon. You can say what you want about Shane, but he used to take some sick bumps and get the snot beat out of him a lot back in the day. But yeah, Tess would pick up the win. You know, Tess would almost win this match several times. But Patterson and Briscoe would come out to lay out the Main Street Posse to make things even, and Tess will pick up the win. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I thought it was a damn good match. We move on to Tag Team Championship match. We have Cain and X-Pac, who were the Tag Team Champions at this time. Cain was hanging out with X-Pac, telling everybody to suck it back then. If you remember, it was a funny time. Good stuff. They would take on the challengers, the Undertaker and Big Show. This match was very good as well. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. Undertaker and Big Show would pick up the win, but the main interesting thing in this match, I learned this through watching interviews, shooting interviews and shit. There's a lot of spots in this match that Big Show messed up, and you can actually see Undertaker in this match pretty much ripping him a new one, telling him shit he missed right there at the end of the match. The announcers try to go into it, you know, to make it a different story. You could also see Undertaker and Cain talking to each other, but I don't know if they forgot their spots, but the announcers did a very good job of covering this up. But this match was still very good. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. Cain and X-Pac almost won several times, but Undertaker would pick up the win on it. He would get the cover on X-Pac, and they would become the new Tag Team Champions. We have the Kiss My Ass match. We have Mr. Ass Billy Gunn versus The Rock. This one I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5 as well. Pretty good match. These two guys mixed well. I used to love to watch The Rock wrestle with the guys from DX because they were always good matches. You know, by this time The Rock was huge. He had blown up, you know. He's taking on Billy Gunn. He beats Billy Gunn, you know, with a rock bottom. Billy Gunn has to have he has his face smashed in. There's some fat chick that he brings down to the ring. It's funny, it's hilarious shit as I was watching. But The Rock would pick up the win over Billy Gunn. Then we have our WWE title match with special guest Jesse the Body Ventura. You know, he was a special guest referee at SummerSlam '88 between the Mega Powers and the Mega Bucks, and he would be making his return for the triple threat match. We will have WWE Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mankind versus Triple H. This match was awesome. All over the place, all over the arena, back and forth they would go. Triple H would hit Austin and Mankind with chairs, but Ventura would not count. It would go back and forth all over the place, like I said. Very good match. In the end, Mankind would hit, I think it was Steve Austin with the double arm DDT for the 1, 2, 3, and Mankind would leave WWF champion. Very good match, very good show. I like this show. I didn't like it as much as 98. I gave it 8.5 stars out of 10, and I'll tell you why. Even though the card was strong, the matches on this card, the matches were really short. The only long match on this whole card was the triple threat match. It's almost like they rushed through the matches, even though they were still good matches. But that's just my thoughts on SummerSlam 99. One thing I do want to touch on, I haven't touched on the Hulk Hogan situation, Hulk Hogan being racist. I grew up a Hulk Hogan fan, man, and it really let me down to hear what he had to say. Me having black family, like, the racist card really never was a big deal for me, because I never really looked into it. You grow up with black family, you grow up with white family, it really don't matter. But I really hated what Hogan had to say. I understand him getting fired from the WWE, but taking him away from the Hall of Fame and getting rid of everything that he done for professional wrestling, I thought was a little much. Because we know in the end they'll forgive Hogan and he'll be back in the Hall of Fame and his shit will be everywhere. And something else that really ticked me off with the WWE over all this, Hogan, yeah, he made racist comments. I don't agree with him at all. Lost almost all the respect I have for Hogan. But here's the thing with WWE, they've been a racist company for years, and for them to act like they're just so offended about what happened just blows my mind. Because they've been racist for fucking years. Everybody that is part of pro wrestling or watches pro wrestling knows this, and that's what really pissed me off about this whole situation. It just blows my mind that people still to this day are still worried about each other's skin color. It really don't matter. I got black uncle, black cousins. Guy in my best man at my wedding was black. It really don't matter to me. But I guess I was just raised not to care, and blessed, to have black family. Because I love it. I don't care what color you are. I just treated motherfucker how they treat me, and that's real. But that's all I have to say about Hulk Hogan. This has just been a short review of SummerSlam 1999. Here in a few days, I'll have a review of SummerSlam 2000, and I'll also have an interview with former WWE Tag Team Champion and NWA World Champion Rob Conway. So look out for that. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.